Yes, and then I have the PowerPoint too, so I can share that with you all. Gabby is real good about sending out a nice juicy email afterwards with all the resources, so you don't have to save anything or screenshot unless you want to. But what is the givingcircle.org, y'all? Bookmark it. Sometimes just that piece in itself of us explaining what is the Giving Circle as we're talking to our members and talking to the community. Shared language is very important, but a Giving Circle is basically a group of people. We come together, we pull our resources together collectively to a variety of different organizations that's aligned with our values. And so essentially the experience takes our mind, our talents, our financial abilities very seriously. It is a very collaborative and social experience. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but again, y'all, shared language with us is very important. Ideally, what we are hoping with your giving circles and even with my giving circles is that we all will be more intentional, thoughtful, and strategic with how we are awarding grants and who we are awarding grants to, so that we can really bridge some of these discrepancies that we see in philanthropy. Okay. So check out our website, whatisagivingcircle.com. It's very intuitive. And y'all can put it on your Grapevine pages. You can put it in your emails when you're sending it to people and some of your recruitment things, but it's really good. And I'm proud of the website that we built. So why do people even start a Giving Circle? Would love to know y'all why. I know that y'all were recruited into your as leaders, Gabby and all them. They're like, yes, we see something in you and come be a leader of this Giving Circle. But why? Your why is so important. There's so many different reasons why people say yes to being a leader, to organize, and to be a part of a Giving Circle. Whether they're looking to understand the field of philanthropy a little bit more, they're trying to make a difference about something that you really care about, you trying to grow in your own leadership and facilitation experience. You're really passionate about systemic change. All of these things, y'all, these are things that I didn't copy and paste, but these are real testimonial submissions to why people have started Giving Circles. We'll love to know your own why. If y'all feel if you want to come off mute right now and share the why behind why you said yes to being a leader of your Giving Circle, drop it in the chat. Okay. All right. Well, let's just I always try to make a space to hear from y'all. But yeah, that's very important for us to center on our why, because people are going to ask us, right? When you were out here recruiting members and talking about your values, they're going to ask you personally. Yes, Colleen, it seemed like a very interesting concept, and I wanted to help get it going. Thank you for that. Like, even that itself, you're going to learn so much, Colleen, in this experience as you are growing and really getting to know your members and learning about these organizations, all the things in between. Next slide, Gabby. So centering and knowing your why is very important. If any of those things that I shared to you, the why doesn't resonate with you, then hopefully the data will. Ashley, thank you. To make charitable contributions go further than I'm able to do on my own. Yes, because who's not a millionaire is me. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not. But collectively, we could be. We can push out $1 million. If you give, I give, right? And so I feel you so much on that, Ashley. But if also the data, y'all, that should motivate us to why. Because let me tell you, this data is disheartening. And if you don't feel some type of way when you're looking at this, but this is facts. And I would encourage y'all, actually, they just released the Giving Report for 2022. Giving USA, they released a report and about the way that people are giving right now. Contributions from individuals are down. And so organizations are really looking at ways and how they can bring more people and get individuals to give, right? So what's happening is that we're seeing a lot of money being stuck into the hands, hoarded into the hands of a few, and less people are giving. But I will challenge philanthropy and say, Giving Circles, y'all need to start more Giving Circles, because that's where more people can individually give and see their gift maximized, to Ashley's point. But overall, y'all, there's about $470 billion that's allocated in charitable funds every year. 470 billion. Okay. Of that amount, only 8% goes to communities of color. And this gets very dismal. Like it's even less than that when you really place it regionally. Like the further you come south, whether you go north, whatnot, those numbers even drop. They never go up. But overall, 8% goes to communities of color. And when we say communities of color, y'all, that means Indigenous, Black, Latinx. So all of us people of color is included in that. That means 92% of all money is going to organizations that are led and that serve white people. And that's problematic, y'all. So when we talk about inequities, like these are numbers in philanthropy. Are we perpetuating the things that we are seeing? Like philanthropy is in a position to really do good, but our numbers are telling us something different, right? And so only 1.8% goes to women and girls. How terrible is that? That's terrible, y'all. Like 1.8, we don't even get 2% that goes to support women and girls. Y'all know women and girls, like we are leading. We're out here, we're the mamas of the movement, but yet philanthropy is not supporting organizations that are led by women and girls or supporting women and girls. And then when you take a look at LGBTQ causes, it's like, it's not even 0.5%, it's 0.28%. So those organizations are real slim. They're going off of very small margins, okay? I heard somebody go off mute. But this data, y'all, I wanted to make a bigger impact. Yes, Lisa, which is doing good. But yeah, I like to read the comments and to meet other similar like-minded individuals. But yes, y'all, I wanted y'all to pay attention to these data. I mean, and you yourself, a part of our experience as Giving Circle leaders, y'all, is to stay abreast and to learn and to know what's going on. And this right here is what's going on. So I hope that you all would consider this in the organizations that your Giving Circle is choosing to support, right? Next slide.
Aisha, I don't know if you talk about this in the next slide, but especially or calling out that middle number. So we see that amount, but within Giving Circles, it's one of the highest funded areas, women and girls. So, and we know, I don't know what the updated numbers are, but they were about 70% of women were making up the Giving Circle movement. So who is funding really matters. And I think that really speaks to it when you look at Giving Circles and the gaps they fill in these wider philanthropic structures. Anyway, sorry, I just want to say that.
No, please don't apologize, Gabby. That's perfect. Yes, what Gabby is saying is that, well, I should have put that slide. I'm gonna put it on the next one, Gabby. When we broke down the latest research on Giving Circles was done in 2017. We're actually doing it again right now. And when they looked at it, 70% of all Giving Circles was led by women. And so we are the decision makers, 70%. And so that we can change that, because now y'all are the decision makers in your Giving Circle. So I hope that the data will influence and encourage y'all about ways and organizations that you'll like to support, and not just pull from a hat and not be intentional about the orgs that you support, okay? Collective giving, y'all, is about us acting as first funders for a lot of the organizations that you will support, hopefully, will be grassroots organizations. And so you might be their first funder. You just might be their first experience, their first grant. And so it's about shifting power. It's about systemic change. This is about community building. It's about challenging a status quo, about supporting grassroots organizations led by people of color and more, right? All these things matter, and what I just want to drive the point home, because it really is rooted in our work, our values work. All righty. So now, speaking of values, what are values? We have to get, again, shared language is very important. Our values, y'all, guide us. They truly are the DNA of your Giving Circle. You got to think about, it's the heartbeat of your circle. Without your values, what are you doing? Everything from your programs, your activities, to your language, how you talk to your members, your agendas, everything should align with your values. Everything. Values are what you stand for and what you don't stand for, what you won't stand for. All right. Are y'all a political minded Giving Circle? No. Well, then, right. So are you standing up? Are y'all a social justice organization? No. Or no. Well, then, right. So our values really show us what we are about, what we stand up for. They also help and guide our decisions around our giving. They totally guide our decisions around our giving, our actions, our traditions, the culture, essentially, of your Giving Circle, right? So what if I were going to act on my values? These are kind of some of the questions I've thought about for y'all to think about. What if I were going to act on my values, what would that look like? If I'm acting on my values, what would that look like in my circle? What would I say? What would I not say? What would I do? How could I be most effective? All these are questions and more that you should really center yourself when y'all are thinking about the way you're engaging your members, how you are making decisions about the organizations you are supporting. You have to remember your values. And here's some values. Next slide, Gabby. When we think about some of the values of what we want to center on, right, it becomes very personal. I shared with y'all earlier about my giving circle. Some of our heritage was personal, but you also have personal values and then you have giving values, right? Ideally, they should align, y'all. Right there in the middle, right here in that sweet spot in the middle is kind of where your giving circle will go. This work is personal. So it's silly for us to be like, well, I'm gonna just focus on my giving values, but it's in total, I don't agree with that personally. You're gonna have friction. Why your value, you're right within your circle, you should be a part of a circle that's aligned with your personal values, right? And then we marry that with our giving values to the point, Lisa, you said like-minded women, right? So that like-mindedness, that's that intersection in the middle, right? Our personal and our giving values and that intersectionality between the two. So what could the values look like? Community, leadership, transparency, creativity, sustainability. Y'all drop it in the chat. What are some values? Don't drop it in the chat because we're about to do an exercise real quick because I want to see what our collective value is and to show y'all how we can bring that to life in a group setting. Equity, joy, fun. I added fun because I'm like, y'all, fun is a value, right? Empathy. When we think about our values, y'all, and sometimes we can process the mess out of our values, but really our values is the humanity in us. What's important to you? What makes your heart sing? What makes your heart really get excited, right? And so whether it's faith, I'm a woman of faith, justice, all those things are important to me personally, but they really show up with how I give as well. So we're gonna do a quick exercise real quick because I wanna hear from y'all. Gabby is gonna drop in the chat this link to Mentimeter. And I want y'all to share 3 personal values, 3. And it's what it is. It's 1, 6, 6, 8. It's 9 of us on a call. Well, I'm not going to do it and Gabby isn't. But it's 7 of y'all on a call. And what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how you can use a tool like Mentimeter. So let's just say y'all have your meeting, y'all. So you're going to click on that Menti. If you've never used Mentimeter, I suggest you bookmark this as a go-to and use it. Y'all can vote for organizations on Mentimeter. You can create shared values. It's a cool tool that I strongly suggest that y'all use within your giving circle. But for right now, I'm gonna show y'all how in a group setting and within your giving circle, y'all can, hey, let's figure out what our collective values are. And that's what we're gonna use to guide our decisions. So you are going to drop in your 3 values and we're going to wait for y'all. As the responses come in, it should generate, oh, there we go. I see y'all. It should generate this cute little word cloud. And then the thing is that that's the beautiful thing about tech. It's going to do its thing, its algorithm. And then the things that we are shared on, empathy right now is a huge one for us collectively. That means more than one of y'all wrote down empathy. So, all right, it looks like empathy is one. So we got 9 response. All right, cool. So look at our values, y'all. And this is beautiful. It's a beautiful way how we can bring the diversity of our voices together to kind of see where the alignment is, right? And so for us right here on this call, empathy is one of our values. We see actually that's our leading value. So if we were a giving circle, we should lead with empathy. We should, right? Empathy should be what comes across in our services, our activities, even with how we engage our grantee partners, right? Empathy is one. What else is our next one? I would say, would y'all say kindness? Kindness is our next one. So empathy, we're such sweeties. We are empathetic, kind, and what'd you say, Gabby? Integrity?
Yeah, integrity or empowerment. I feel like empowerment looks a little bit.
Integrity and empower. Yeah. Okay, well, another vote. Somebody else. All right, kindness, empathy, And okay, so the lateral, well, not the lateral, what is it? The horizontal ones are really the ones that we are in alignment with. The other ones, the vertical ones, are where, you know, not so many responses. So you will always kind of go in where the horizontal ones. This is the second time this week Debbie, what did you say? This is the second time this week that second time this week that I've seen this too. Yes, exactly. So that means that's confirmation, Deborah, that you need to use it in your giving cycle. That's what that is. So kindness, y'all can see this though. I encourage y'all to use it. So hopefully y'all can see how this could beautifully be laid out and used within your giving circle. So I'm gonna go with it. Compassion, kindness, and empathy is our values, right? And so we would take those compassion, kindness, and empathy. All right, well then how does that show up in our grant making? How does kindness show up in our grant making, y'all? If we were a circle, how does compassion show up in our grant making? How would empathy, right? And so, yeah, thank y'all for doing that example with me. Gabby, you want to screenshot that and we can send it out to folks?
Yeah, I'll
In that
screenshot
way.
this, and just wanted to call out that I was able, you can add an image. So I put an image here just to show people. And are you able to see this other page now that I've flipped over to?
We're on the shared, click the X, Gabby.
Okay, so let me
Right.
I just want to show you, for anyone who's interested in using this tool, it might just be helpful to know. Can you see that now, the back end?
We can, but you're gonna have to hit the X because you're on the participant. There you go. And now we can see hit the X, and then we can see. There you go.
Perfect. Yeah. So this is the back end, and it's free to use. I think it's only if you create a number of them that it stops being free, but all you do is you create a new slide, click word cloud. It's super easy. What I did was when I shared, I used this link to share with all of you. And then to pull it up on the screen, I went to presentation mode. So it's very simple, and I will share this afterwards, but just wanted to call that piece out. Okay, now I'll go back to
Grapevine is a tech platform. If you didn't do the techie stuff, then I would, yeah, Gabby, I would question you. So thank you for showing us that back end. It's really good to use, y'all. So you can see, next slide, you can kind of see, right? Values, y'all. Power is a value. Trust. Oh my goodness, trust. Yes, I hope y'all center a lot of what y'all do on trust. And so we also, you know, just have these other sample values, on just things that y'all can think about. But I would encourage you as leaders of your of your giving circle, y'all are now building community with people that you have never met, people that you don't know, but centering your values can help y'all quickly build community with one another and have some good conversations around that as you all move forward with consideration of the organizations that you support. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, we already did that. All right, so how do we make these values real in real life? Because I'm real practical. I'm real like, this is in theory great, but how do we make it real in real life? Next slide, Gabby. Let's just say joy. You take a value, and what you do is you take a short word, a phrase, you take one of your value. I just showed y'all like a whole list of examples of values on that last page or whatnot. Then you take that one value and you write a description, a definition of what that value uniquely means to your circle, right? And as leaders, this will really help y'all, because people have different definitions of fun. My definition of fun is buy some water and having a nice glass of red wine, like, right? I'm just saying, like, right? My definition of fun and maybe y'all's is two different things. But if we write it down and have a definition of what that value uniquely means to our circle, then we can unpack that value a little bit more, right? Our value was empathy, and compassion. We can unpack that. And then let's even go a step further by providing a tangible example of how your circle will embody or execute that value within your giving circle. So it's a 3-part. This is an exercise, y'all, but a very real way of how y'all can make sure that you're staying rooted with what you saying your value is, defining what that value is, make it make sense, right, for y'all, and then executing on how we're going to live out that value in practice in real life within our giving circle. I would encourage y'all to do this. And so this is the example, right? And so if my value is equity, we're going to focus our giving on what? Grassroots BIPOC-led serving orgs. Equity was a value for Heritage, y'all, because we are relentless about who we support. We got dig. People were coming for us when we started in 2017 here in Dallas and saying, well, aren't y'all? It was like we were called reverse racist. Honestly, I'm being real about what we were called because we were unapologetic about serving and providing grants exclusively for Black women. It's like, no, that's equity work. We're being intentional about equity work, right? And so we had to shift some minds in the philanthropic community to not ding us for something that we are very rooted in. This is a value of equity, right? So this is how that can look. Taking a word, making this a description around that, and then this is the description, right? Same thing with trust. Trust, that's the word. We believe that organizations on the ground best know how to use the funding and give no strings attached grant gifts. If trust is a value of your giving circle, y'all, then no string attached gifts is a tangible way of how that will live out loud in your circle. Y'all can see that? So trust, a little blurb of description of what we feel. Like we feel that, right? The description is, we feel that those on the ground, nothing, it's like that phrase of what they say, nothing for us without us, right? That's what that is essentially of what this giving circle said, right? And then they are going to provide no string attached grants. What about joy? Let me check the chat. What are y'all saying to me? Yay, Deborah, please do. Like, I want y'all to do this. That's why I'm doing these trainings. I'm hoping that like in real life that y'all would find some value and give me some feedback in ways and what, you know, as we're talking about this, if something is really popping out to you. Joy, y'all. Joy is, we all need so much joy. We need more of it. Our world is polarized right now, our nation. We need it. Joy, we're going to bring our full selves, right? Colleen, you're going to bring your full self. Lisa, we promise we're going to bring our full selves to our meetings as we are. We ain't got to reduce ourselves or shrink. Joy looks like us bringing our full selves to our meetings and leading with love and fun. But you can even break down that love and fun and joy of like, what would that mean? Like maybe that means y'all having birthday celebrations for some of your members, or you know, celebrating just wins for your what has happened this week, ladies. You know, celebrate a win, right? That's joyful, right? That's fun. That's joyful. The moment I like the value of joy, y'all, because the moment I can tell y'all, the moment that your circle feels boring, disconnected, like work, people will disengage. So you are going to have to think about ways how, from an engagement stance, especially since COVID, people are engaging. They want to be engaged differently. Basically, they want to be engaged only the way that they want to be engaged, and also what really speaks to their values. People are looking for value alignment, period, across the board with how they show up, where they're giving their time, right? Think about you yourself. Our capacity has changed. Our priorities have shifted. People are looking for values alignment, period. And so, Sherry, did you have your hand up? The Zoom thing does like, or you were thinking out loud with your pen? Okay. All right. What about community? It's another value, right? Well, we're going to make the time and space to focus on relationships. That actually, relationships is one of our key focuses this year. Community is a value for PHC. It always has been, always will be, but we're being more intentional about focusing our time on relationships. Well, what does that look like in tangible between our members and our nonprofit partners? And then you can go a step further with your group on like what that looks like. How can y'all, well, think about the 5 T's, your time, right? We're already giving our treasure, right? We give our money, but this could look like relationship building in terms of our time. How can we give better use our members' time at meetings, starting on time, whatever the case is. For our nonprofits, how can we give our time? How can we give them our testimony, our advocacy, right? How can we give them our talents, right? You can use the 5 T's as it relates to your community building with your members and your nonprofit partners. But hopefully this will, you know, kind of brings it home to like how values, a definition around that value can really guide y'all to tangible ways how you can execute it within your giving circle. What about how to facilitate how to facilitate? So I've talked to y'all about what is the value, how you can think about it in tangible, real ways within your circle, but then also you all are facilitators. If you don't know it about now, you're going to be flexing that facilitation muscle, guys. Y'all are facilitators as leaders of your giving circle. And so you're going to have to know how to facilitate conversations around values. Hopefully our time today gave y'all a good example of that. But then also, Gabby, next slide. These are ways, sample agenda with how you can scale that. So let's just say some of you are just kind of starting off. You're like, I'm jumping into this. These, I got these folks like we haven't even like met, or maybe y'all have met, or maybe you're like, I'm looking to build, bring us together, bring us together a little bit. Bye, Gina. We'll miss you. See you later. We'll bring this together. How are we going to bring these values like all together, right? And so you can do this in a sample agenda. If you have 15 minutes, this is what this looks like, y'all. You could do 2 minutes where you're sharing out about the importance of values, kind of what I did with y'all in the beginning. Make it personal. Start with your own why, your own values. Then y'all can do a Mentimeter the same way, y'all, where you're kind of doing a word cloud, where I like to do 3 to 5, no more than 5 though, group values. And then maybe y'all will break out in trios, especially if your circle is big, or if your members, they really haven't had opportunities to get to know one another. I encourage y'all to do breakouts. If y'all circle is meeting, do breakouts. That way people can really build bonds with one another, and have them talk in trios about what those top 3 to 5 values will look like and what resonated most with them and why. And then maybe the second piece is y'all come back to the group. Y'all come back, everyone comes back, y'all share out kind of whatever. And then y'all do a second poll and say, okay, well, we're going to narrow down those, right? From those 3 to 5. After you do the word cloud and you take those 5 that came from the 25, and y'all narrow that down from there and recap and next steps for the next meeting. So it's a good way in how you can really think about from an agenda stance of how you can facilitate this values conversation. But above all, it's just a conversation, y'all. Don't make it too processy or too formal where people cannot place it and it doesn't come across as authentic. Deborah, my team is not collaborating cohesively. I just sent out an email promising a pool party, and say, when is it? Like, I'm just kind of like, I want to come. No, well, speak more about that, Deborah, if you don't mind. Do you feel like it? No pressure.
Okay, so I can't see myself, but can you see me or hear me?
Okay. We can see you and hear you.
All right, so I'm recovering from a complete Paris blowdown last night in my other job, and so, but I really wanted to sit in on this because I am new to the Syracuse area and really have always been a community collaborator and wanting to give back to the community. And we just have had such trouble really meeting and getting started. And I'm a little frustrated. We did just do our first grant circle, but it's just really hard to make everybody to just feel that feeling of cohesiveness. And I'm getting a little frustrated. So I love this training because I feel like it's really going to help me to try to pull something together with some direction of where to direct us. I don't know. I really appreciate it. And I thank you so much.
Oh, Deborah, I got you. And just know that like your circle, first off, the friction that you are naming is very natural for a lot of giving circles in the beginning, especially like Heritage, my giving circle, Deborah, we knew each other. We knew each other and we had shared, right? We were all here. We're based in Dallas. We knew each other. So we were fortunate to already have that cohesiveness by way of just us knowing each other. And we were all working in philanthropy. But a lot of y'all giving circles that y'all just haven't met. Y'all haven't met yet. And so grace to y'all. As we all know, when you meet a new friend, you got to get to know what these people are about. And everyone's kind of coming in. The good thing is that all of y'all are already on the same page of the good that y'all are there for a reason, because y'all want to give, y'all want to serve. Centering on that, right, that piece, values, one of your values already is community.
Right.
The fact that y'all want to get together to do something good in Syracuse is that y'all are already one up. That's one value up, right? And so I think you as a facilitator, that's where I'm talking about this agenda here and this, yes, you're right. I'm glad you came onto this training, because you as facilitator, you're going to set the tone with how folks come in to bridge that cohesiveness and that collaborative spirit with y'all. And I would suggest by starting with the values, because your values is where you're really going to get the heartbeat of why people are there in the first place.
Right.
And people are going to fall off if they're not values aligned, or they're going to lean in more and say, oh, wow, okay, I'm in the right spot. This was great. I also feel the same. I'm a lover too. I'm passionate about equity too, right? I promise you those natural conversations are going to come about. You just have to create the space, Deborah, to have this conversation, to bring y'all together, to bring some synergy around values first. Even though y'all have already met to award grants, you can back into it. Hey guys, you know what? That was a great experience. We did that. I want to slow it down. I want to make space for us to really get to know each other. For this next grant cycle, I really would like for it to be centered and rooted on our values. Because we're all getting to know one another. And so this is what we're going to do for 45 minutes. And here's a sample agenda, Deborah, on how that can look like. And I'm also here to support you, friend. So like me and you offline, I'll drop my Calendly link, and let's plan your next meeting of what that kind of will look like. And even I've done it many times where I've even drafted up the email that will go out to your members and such, so that you can get the wording and such right to your members. But that's what this is about, y'all. And so I appreciate you being honest and transparent about that, because I'm sure that others also have kind of, maybe they felt similarly. But I promise you, the values conversation is a good way to bring that synergy and pull out the heart, like align our hearts to this work. And then once people feel connected on the values, normally you'll see a change in like how they, okay, all right, I guess y'all other women are aligned. I like y'all now, right? So I'm gonna show up a little different, my bird, right? And so you see people kind of relax, but right now people are just, their hearts are in the right place, but then in our minds, we don't know each other. So
right. Oh, that's so encouraging. Thank you. And I have to be honest, it's the first time since I've been involved with this organization that I've been, I want to say, brave enough to say that. And it's partly from the fatigue of me and this. I'm a flight attendant by trade, and we just had such a blowout on our Paris trip last night, and I'm just tired. So when you're tired, sometimes you'll say things that you wouldn't say in a normal course of conversation, because I don't want to sound like I'm being divisive. I am frustrated, but only because it is not, I would say part of the frustration comes from the lack of clarity in the leadership teaming. The way we're supposed to lead is there is no like one person who's like driving it. And so every now and then I'll step into trying to do that, but then it seems to get a little wonky. And so, and I just want us, like you said, exactly. I think the values is the thing that's going to bring it together. So I'm encouraged by that.
Totally. And Deborah, I would encourage you to not like bring the whole group together. Like if what you're saying is it's the leadership, because now I hear another piece also is like, folks don't know what their role and responsibility is within the circle. So y'all all kind of are coming in here. You want to do good, but like, what does that look like? I don't know. Like, they're maybe waiting on you or waiting on, right? And so they're also, once you all center and kind of have some conversation to take the space and make space for y'all to get to know each other and build up on the values, then y'all can now it's there. There's some good energy there for us to say, okay, well, where is your strength? How would you like to use your time and talent within this circle? Like, what does that look like for you? Because then you might uncover, Deborah, like you might have moms that's like, I'm super busy, but I'm real good on the behind the scenes stuff. I'll love to just write up the emails out and post on the Grapevine page, and that's all like I like to do, or whatever the case is. Y'all can kind of see where y'all can divide and conquer the task as it relates to not just the needs of the giving circle, but also people capacity and their strengths and their talents.
Yes, I agree. We have our titles, but I'm not sure we all got plugged into the right, the right place. So that discussion would probably be a good follow-up to the
That's
values.
right. And don't
Yeah.
be scared to say that. And like, and I also would just say that another piece is, sometimes y'all, we get in our head as leaders because then we're like, well, I don't want to be negative. No, like this is real. Like if the friction is there, how you feeling with your circle, trust me, if you're feeling it, Deborah, your other leaders are feeling it. So name it, but then we're flipping it in a positive way, right? So we're going to acknowledge it. A lot of times, sometimes like that be the issue. People want to feel like you at least acknowledge like the elephant in the room, right? So we can acknowledge it, but then, all right, guys, I acknowledge that, whoa, we kind of had a wonky start. I felt a little disconnect. Did y'all feel that too, right? And then, all right, so then I'm thinking, I went to this workshop, the values, let's do this. This is a good exercise. I feel like it'll break, right? And then you turn the curve, but you acknowledge it first, and then you turn the curve, right? And that's just, I'm a realist, y'all. Like I'm very on the nose. Like I don't like to, right? And so I think that's the best way though, because when you are real like that, then really realness is like authenticity. That's exactly what it is. And people don't want to be around people that's fake. Like they just don't want to, like authenticity is something that people can feel it. You know what I mean? And so they just need to feel that from you, Deborah, and know that, so name it, sister, and don't, but you ain't got to like, oh, I'm feeling all bad and like go down the negative, like negative Nancy road, but naming it in a way of stand up, us moving forward, and we're going, this is the direction we're going with our circle, and we're going to keep right that kind of way. And I'm happy to meet with you and your leaders and all of that good stuff.
Thank you so much. I feel encouraged and I have some goosebumps. I really, thank you.
I love that for you and for us. Gabby, did I get through all my slides? I talk a lot. How much time we have? Okay. All right, y'all. We got 13 minutes. Did I get through all my slides? Yes.
I think so. I think the only ones were the longer versions of the agendas. I guess we could just look at those.
Let me take a look just to make sure, because y'all will have this. I feel like I'm driving this point home. I want to keep saying the same thing. Next slide, Gab. Yeah. So this is just y'all, also just the time. I did a 15 minute, I did a 30 minute, I did a 60, 75 minute. Deborah, you might need a 60, 75 minute. Because honestly though, just so y'all can have an ice break, look at the 60, 75 minute as opposed to the 15 minute, we jump right into it, right? But a 60, 75 minute makes space for a welcome. It makes time for an icebreaker. Your icebreaker could be like, how did you get introduced to philanthropy? Who first taught you how to give? Right? Like think about a meaningful, fun question where people really have to think about, right? That will be meaningful with what you're trying to do. You're trying to build community, y'all trying to build cohesiveness. That icebreaker should be something like that, right? And then you dive deep, right? So each agenda, and y'all will have access to this, but each agenda really is a time aligned with what the needs of your giving circle of where y'all are. So some of y'all just need a 15-minute little or 20-minute, but some of you all might need a 75-minute deep dive into the values, and that's what it is. Oh my goodness, I love them so. I was at HEB yesterday. They're not from Paris, but like I was thinking like me and my daughter need to learn how to make some of these. Like they were delicious. I'm hungry. I think I said I was hungry before I came here. Really? Yes, food is an icebreaker. Always. Food is always good. And if y'all can meet in person, oh my goodness, I would encourage y'all to.
I actually have a question about the meeting in person, because that was something that like my group has had to gather in grants so far, and the engagement is just like so low. We did have 3 nonprofits that were nominated for our first round, and then we had like 8 people show up to the gather and grant. And then for this second round, I was the only one that submitted a nomination. We actually opened up the submissions twice, and we were like, we need some more. And I mean, I was thrilled because I feel very passionately about the nonprofit that I nominated, but like we only had 4 people show up to our gather and grant. And like, it was discussed early on that like people were really interested in like gathering in person and like getting to know other women in the community. Clearly that's not working for us. And so like, I think this exercise to determine values will be super helpful to maybe get people thinking about more nonprofits that they want to recommend, but how do I get people to show up? I'm guessing a Zoom is probably the way we're going to have to go for this, since we haven't had success getting people to show up in person. But like, how do I even get people to show up for the Zoom? We've tried, email, we've done the like stuff. Hybrid events we've considered, but we haven't found a location that's quiet enough to do a hybrid event. Unless I'm having people just come to my living room. So that's one issue with the hybrid event we've run into, is like, there's no place that's free to meet that's also quiet enough to like have a Zoom call going. We looked at libraries, and in Chicago, they're only open during business hours. They're like free spaces. So I'm open to anybody's ideas on how I can get more people to even engage with us. Like we send emails through the Grapevine website. Like we're getting like nothing.
How many members do you have, Ashley,
I would have to double check now. I think it's like 40. I probably shouldn't guess right now. We have a fair number of people that are active and actually donating money, but they're not. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
Okay, while you pull that up, I have a couple of thoughts with that, and y'all chime in, because this is a group. If y'all are seeing increase in your engagement, then share it with Ashley. But Ashley, I would suggest two things. One, stop with your circle, like pause for a moment, because you don't want to keep moving forward like with these gathering and grants and then nobody is showing up. That 1000% defeats the purpose of the circle. So you're right to like pay attention. Hold on, red flag, something's happening wonky with our engagement. So I would pause for a moment. How many Giving Circle leaders do you have to help you? Like are you just the only person?
There's two of us, and Gabby just sent us an email yesterday. We've got another woman who wants to join the leadership circle. She didn't come to our last Gather and Grant event, but happy to have her interested in leadership.
Okay, I would suggest that if even with the third person or whatnot, but first meet with your leaders. I would start there. And I also, do you have a best friend? Can the three of y'all invite another person to join your circle by way of your friend or whatnot? I always, like, again, you make this personal. So, right. So if y'all could get ideally 3 to 5 leaders is that sweet spot, right? Meet with your leaders. Once y'all meet with your leaders, right, y'all need to take a look at your membership list. If you have contact names, their email addresses, if emails is not working, I hate to say it, it's where old school, get on a phone call, text messages, check in with your members, right? Y'all maybe can divide and conquer. All right, you take 5, I take 5, or whatever the case is, and we're gonna make some phone calls or send some texts. Hey, we'd love to know, we missed you at the last Gathering and Grant. Just want to make sure, check in with you, because first off, life is life in all of us. Inflation, summer is out. Engagement is always low in the summer, guys. People are trying to cool off. They're trying to disconnect. They're trying to rest. So it's always hard to engage circles, even our Giving Circle. Over the summer, we know what works. We're a 6-year circle now, so we really know what works and when are the sweet spot moments where our members are ready, even at all the way to the time of the day of when we send out messages or whatnot. But you're still getting to know your group, and so I think what a beautiful touch point that will be for them to hear for you in real life, right, Ashley, of like just checking in with you and just making sure, like, we missed you at the last Gathering and Grant, so I want to make sure you still would like to be a part of the Giving Circle. We are doing some planning. We're going to have an upcoming social mixer. Whatever it is that's kind of upcoming, you and your group, y'all will decide on, like, once you and your leaders, y'all gather and y'all say, okay, Well, we are going to ideally we'll like to just have a social mixer. Let's just have a social to bring people together. Let's not even do no kind of pooling of resources. Let's just get together, like over wine, food, whatever that looks like, right? At your house or at wherever. And here in Dallas, there's so many like Starbucks has a community room, or one of our members, she had a clubhouse. She has a condo and they have like a clubhouse facility, and we use that. So like just
I was going to use my rooftop, but somebody burned it down a month ago.
No.
So
I'm so sorry to hear that. But what I'm trying to say, Ashley, is first get you and your leaders together. Y'all get together and like try to plan and organize a social mixer just to bring them together. And then y'all outreach, do some personal outreach, test, like do some gauging, temperature check to see. You might uncover a person that say, oh my God, like my dad, like he was just sick, I just couldn't make it. Or no, actually I wanted to join, but life has happened to where I'm sorry, I can't be a part of the circle. No problem. Okay, well, whenever life slows down, we'll be here, we'll whoop this. Right. But it'll give you a good feel of what's going on, and your members will hear from you. I promise your engagement is going to change once they hear from you. And then
I guess I was just a little hesitant to phrase it that way because I didn't want anyone that's making their donation to be like, oh, this isn't a good time for me to be engaged right now, and then pull it. Like, I'd rather have them not active and giving the money than gone totally.
Then frame that.
Yeah.
Again, every circle, guys, what works for your circle, Lisa, and what works for Ashley, your circle is two different things. You're telling me something specific about your circle, like, well, I'd rather than, well, then say that. Okay, well,
yeah.
Contributions matter. So like we still would, whatever
Right.
that language looks like, y'all figure out the sweet spot language of how to reach your people, and then do the outreach. Create a little social mix where y'all can gather or whatnot, and then maybe even list out. It sounds like also a cadence sometimes is helpful for engagement, y'all. So rather you decide to meet, all right, it's going to be the first, like people need to know, like they need a cadence, like about a 15th or whatever that is, to nominate your org or whatever, and you back into that with that, so people can get into themselves in a rhythm of, oh snap, I forgot to submit my nomination or whatever. But right now it's wonky. People don't be knowing. Cadence is huge, right? It's huge. So I would encourage all of y'all to lean into cadence. And then sometimes you just got to stop to do a temperature check with your circle before you can kind of move forward with the next gathering and grant. So see if that works. And I'll love to workshop, just troubleshoot or whatever the case is, any support that you need, Ashley, I'm here for you.
Yeah, that was super helpful. Thank you.
One thing bye, Deborah.
Y'all gotta go. We're probably at time or approaching that time.
We have just 2 minutes left, but one thing I was going to say also that's good just to be aware of, and I've received some feedback from leaders and members recently, where with nominating, they feel intimidated because they're like, oh, does this mean I have to get up in front of a bunch of people and talk about it? So I don't know actually if that's necessarily the issue, but I think when you open up nominations or speak about them, you might just want to make it seem less intimidating for people, because I'm part of a giving circle here in Toronto, and that's why I don't nominate right now, because I'm nervous to speak in front of people. But your group is still small, and even though there's challenges in that, that's also kind of a superpower of it, because it's like, we're going to present around a group of 4 other people. It's really not going to be too scary. So just wanted to call that out also.
Okay. Thanks.
Well, y'all, I know we're at time, and I'm talking about cadence. I try to stick with our time. Gabby is going to follow up with the presentation link. I'm not even going to drop my Calendly link here. Gabby is going to include it in that email so y'all can have it, since we had Gina and Deborah that fell off. And so y'all just be encouraged. And if you and your leaders would like to schedule a time where we can sit and really like troubleshoot any challenges that you are experiencing. I know Gabby hosts office hours. Sometimes I can come, sometimes I can't. Take advantage of office hours that she has. Tap into supportive services, and take a look at our website. We have sample agendas, languages, email templates, all kinds of cool stuff there. Engagement, we have a whole list of icebreakers, all kinds of cool things that are on our resource library on Philanthropy Together's website. And take care of yourselves. Like, honestly, as leaders and as movement builders, we have to make sure that we are rested and are equally inspired, because people are looking at us as we lead. So rest well, y'all. Honestly, seriously, take care.